Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Airport CEO here on BongoPlanes, where we still focus on Terminal 3 because our airport is still very much resembling a huge construction site, and we should try to do something about that, try to move forward with our project here. So Terminal 3 is the main focus for today's episode, and we will get going right after the drop. As always, before we get too far into today's video, if you should end up enjoying today's episode, then don't forget to leave a like. That very much does help us out. And of course, if you are new around here, you're always welcome to hit subscribe. Alright, so we will try to pick up where we left off last time. We have started constructing sections E and G of Terminal 3, and we got quite far last time, but we are still missing some crucial infrastructure, mainly the whole luggage system. We already have the baggage base, but obviously we need to connect them up with, well, some baggage retrieval areas, which we will be constructing. We can do it a little bit faster because we can just copy paste the basic layout, so that will help us out. I'm not gonna lie, this episode could very well end up being a bit shorter than normally, because I've been very busy, well, in the last few weeks. I mean, we have plenty of reviews going on at the moment. Of course, also some of the new Harper releases. We are hoping to see some new JC Wings releases fairly soon. I don't know yet how many I can review of those, but I'm working on something there. Unfortunately, I can't say much more about it, but hopefully I can review. I mean, I should be able to review at least one of the new JC Wings in scale 500. Maybe more, maybe even all of them, but we will see. If you're watching this video on the day it's coming out, so on a Sunday, you might already also have noticed that there is a new My Collection video. I have been recording quite a few episodes of Airport Update. How many have I been? I think I've recorded 4 new episodes. The goal is that we will have 1 new episode on the channel every month, at least for the next 4 months. And then I've actually recorded a 5th, but that will be a surprise, and I still need to figure out when I release that. Maybe in between one of these 4 episodes, or after I've released these 4 new episodes of Airport Update. But I can't say much more about that because that is, as I say, a complete surprise. But hopefully you will like it. It's basically kind of a pilot episode for something a little bit new and a little bit familiar. But, well, you will see in a few months, I guess. And then, of course, we have another major project going on at the moment. You might have seen it, but we are, of course, working on Cardiff Season 3. So that, of course, will take a lot of my time in the coming weeks and months. Just recording it will take, I mean, well, actually it will take at least a month, but I'm not a fan of leaving the plate out and about for about a month, because then you get issues with dust. So I think like 2 weeks is the maximum I like to do it. So I will see how many episodes I can record within that time frame, and then I will have to take it all down again, remove dust and put it up again. That will take a lot of time. So yeah, there will be quite a few things to work on, while we of course also continue this series, which is still hugely enjoyable for me. I really do like this game, and I can really comfortably say I don't think I've liked the game as much as I do now ever before. I don't know why, but it just makes it, yeah, it's it's just a lot of fun. It's just a lot of fun. So while I'm just figuring out here what I'm going to do with all these new luggage lanes that we've constructed, I mean, we don't really have to do what I'm doing here. For example, I'm constructing an underground facilities for the airport, where we have the lines of the luggage belts going in. Technically, we could just have them underground, but I prefer when it is actually possible, in theory, that it can be reached by staff. And for that, of course, it needs to be inside a terminal building when it is underground. So that's why we are constructing it. But technically, it is not really necessary. That's, I think, a little bit unrealistic of the game. I think it should be a requirement of the game. But, I mean, it's not a huge issue. You can do it, or you can leave it away as you like. What I of course also like to do is here then to put it inside the security zone, and to just make it a staff zone, because that way we can avoid to ever have any passengers come down here if they somehow manage to go down there. I mean, passengers, they go everywhere. So if you want to avoid them to somehow stroll around in this area and they'd be very unhappy because they can't find any shops or any bathrooms, then just make it a staff zone and you won't have that issue whatsoever. So then we of course also need to connect this all up with our baggage bays over at I guess they're placed inside E section. Yeah, and then they will of course, both of them will serve E and G section of Terminal 3. So now that we more or less have constructed everything underground here we need for the outbound line, we still need to put it in, but we have at least now the terminal building for that. But of course we also need to connect the inbound with our new baggage retrieval areas. Of course we have to create the room as well, so that we connect the room up with the baggage bay, so that the baggage bay knows where to send the luggage to. So then we of course, again here, we just need to make sure that we have no walls, because otherwise we can't pass through here with our lines. Obviously everything coming from the main entrance building of Terminal 3 is going into the central line of our luggage system, which means it's passing through all the security scanners, so that's perfectly fine. We don't need to have multiple of them, we can just have one central line, and then just split it off afterwards so that it goes over to the two baggage bays over at, was it E section, I believe? Doesn't matter, E or G, but at least so it goes over to the new section. But just before we actually connect everything up, there's one more thing I quickly want to work on, and that's actually adding another entrance to the whole baggage retrieval area. I'm not quite sure how this works in real life. I know that there's like the main exit over at Terminal 2. That's how it is in real life. I'm not sure if there's another exit, so to say, from Terminal 3 down to the main baggage retrieval areas at Copenhagen Airport. I'm not quite sure, because I don't think I've ever arrived from that part of the airport, so I've never really looked around there if there's an exit there. But I'm adding it here because I think it will ease well, basically the passenger experience a bit, because otherwise they would have to walk quite far over to Terminal 2 and then just to walk all the way back again to retrieve the luggage. So that way they can just go straight down. Might not be 100% correct again, but we are also still on the hunt for the 5-star rating, so we do need to make a few compromises here and there, and try to improve a little bit on the original design of Copenhagen Airport. Alright, but we have now connected the outbound line, and now we just need to connect up the inbound line, and then we are done with the luggage system for sections E and G. Alright, but we are not quite done yet with E and G. There's a few things I would like to work on. Right now we are here at E section, so that's on first floor level, and we have a bit of space left, and I think we should use that for something, well, that will make sense for the airport. We can make a little bit of money, and of course we will also fulfill the needs of the passengers. So obviously that means bathrooms. How could it otherwise be? But we should also have a few shops and maybe a cafe, because we will have passengers obviously passing through here on the way to G. We will have passengers waiting here for their departures from E, so it will just make sense to have these facilities here as well. And for the cafe that we are adding at this area, I like to, I mean, it's nothing revolutionary. I like to do it pretty much with all cafes that I'm making. Obviously, we'll have the different, well, the necessary infrastructure, let's call it like that. But then I also like to have a little bit of a lounge area, or like at least some seating arrangements where people can sit and eat whatever they've bought there. So obviously we're adding it here as well. But then I thought we do also have still a little bit space left here, and we have also been doing that in other areas of the airport. So why not also add a little bit of a seating arrangement here that is not as well arranged as with the normal benches we are placing at the gates. And we can give it a bit more of a lounge feeling without being inside a lounge. So add a few plants, have some windows added so that the passengers waiting there can have a nice view over the airfield. And then once we've added that, there's one more thing I would like to add here over at E and G, and that is one more little staff room down here at G, just to make sure that we really are on top of everything here, so that the passengers' needs are fulfilled, but also the workers' needs are fulfilled. And speaking of that, before we end today's episode, I would also quickly like to head over to C Concourse here at Terminal 3, because we still have a bit work left over here that we didn't manage to finish last time we worked over here. Basically at the far end of C Concourse, we have some space on ground level which I would like to use for a staff room as well, and a luxury one at that. They even have a staff bathroom right here. And then of course there is one more thing I would like to do up here as the last thing for today's episode, and that is to add a cafe here, because this is an area where we will have quite a few A380s, so we will have a lot of passengers waiting here. We have already a lounge for Emirates, which will mainly come with the A380 here. We have bathrooms. We now have a staff room, so that we always have some service personnel up here at this part of the airport. And if we then also have a cafe, then passengers that are waiting here can go there and also again fulfill their basic needs, which means if they don't have access to the lounge but would like to have something to eat, they don't need to go all the way back to the central parts of the terminal. So this should definitely help us on our quest to get the 5-star rating. And with that, it is time to end today's video. I don't know, maybe it didn't get a decent length, maybe it's still a bit shorter than normally, but this is what I managed to do for today's episode. So I hope you enjoyed what we achieved here today, and if so, then feel free to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.